More moves are coming for the Los Angeles Lakers as following the massive trade where the Lakers acquired Luka Doncic. A brand new report has dropped revealing that they are actively pursuing multiple centers. We're going to break down that report and discuss what this means going forward as things continue to get crazier and crazier surrounding the LA Lakers. So stay tuned for all that in this episode. But before we get into it, we are inching closer and closer to 6,000 subscribers. Your guys' support has been absolutely unbelievable. If you want to help us towards that 6,000 subscriber goal and you're a part of the 86% who aren't subscribed to the channel, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to smash that subscribe button. This is the place to be for daily Lakers content, uploading multiple videos a day for you all, multiple pieces of content. So thank you guys for your continued support, and let's dive right into it. Obviously, we've had a little bit of time now, almost 24 hours to digest the Luka Doncic trade, but a huge factor in this trade is the fact that they do not have a center right now. They don't have a starting center. They don't really have a backup center. And that has been a problem dating all the way back to last season, and a brand new report from Evan Sittery, as well as some other guys, has dropped, revealing some pretty big info here. The Lakers are aggressively pursuing athletic rim-protecting centers on the trade market. Nick Claxton and Robert Williams are the two players to keep a very close eye on over the next few days. And ladies and gentlemen, a couple different things here. One, Nick Claxton. Sign me up for Nick Claxton. This would be the perfect fit for this team, which we'll dive into, as well as Robert Williams. So something to note apart from this, part of this report, multiple centers, rim protecting centers. So they're looking for both, and they have the assets to where they can go out and get multiple centers. We're going to dive into the depth chart and go through all of that a little bit later. But ladies and gentlemen, it was a huge trade. We all know that. But the most important thing now is what they're going to do next. And again, the Lakers are aggressively pursuing rim protecting centers. So regarding Nick Claxton, this is a very interesting scenario because Nick Claxton obviously is a great center. He would fit this team very, very well. And you can see this here. The Lakers are aggressively pursuing multiple centers. Claxton and Robert Williams are guys to look out for. Guys, you can probably get Robert Williams for cheaper, Nick Claxton for a bit more expensive. Glad it says centers and not center. They need two bigs, and they can't rely on Hayes. So their current center situation is obviously Jackson Hayes at the 5. And if this, if they had a game tonight, that's who would be running it. However, as you get Luka back, you're going to need a starting center, and Nick Claxton would be that perfect fit. And honestly, you could see a world where they get both Claxton and Robert Williams. The problem is, would they now prefer to go for somebody who can stretch the floor, i.e. a guy like Miles Turner, which we'll have a video on in the future as well. And this is kind of blown up, and people are starting to talk about it. So when you're looking at, Nick Claxton, obviously a defensive-minded center, cannot shoot the ball, fantastic rebounder, fantastic defender, and a fantastic pick-and-roll player. He could do some great things with Luka, be a lob threat, all those different things. But one of the biggest things that this team is missing right now is a defensive presence at the 5 spot, which is hilarious because 24 hours ago, we were talking about how they probably have the best defensive big man in the league, Victor Wembanyama, of course, as well, in Anthony Davis. But now that AD's gone, you have to completely shift your mindset. And it's basically the same trades we were talking about with these backup centers with, Robert Williams, all these different guys. But now you need someone who is more defensive-minded. And Nick Claxton would be that guy. You look at his stats this season, he's a bit of a down year, but he's averaging 9 points a game, a block. He's a great rebounder. How much would it cost? Let's keep in mind now, the Lakers, we'll dive into the depth chart in a minute. The Lakers have their first-round pick in 2031 they can trade. They still have some assets to match salary, whether that be Rui Hachimura, as well as some other guys. But he is having a bit of a down year, a bit less efficient compared to usual. But he's playing in a very bad system in Brooklyn. He was a Defensive Player of the Year finalist just a couple of years ago. He's only 25. And you're looking for centers now that can really be a part of this team going forward. And Nick Claxton is absolutely that. Now, you can see this here from Clutch. So Luka, a 3-and-D guard, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, and Walker Kessler trade everything to fill that 2 and 5. Now, he obviously has Walker Kessler as kind of the placeholder right here in exchange for any center, because at the moment it's Jackson Hayes. I find it hard to believe that A, Walker Kessler is going to be available, and B, if he is available, it would take multiple first-round picks. The Lakers now gave up one of them, their 2029, in the trade for Luka Doncic. So you need to fill that 5 spot, and something that a lot of people aren't talking about is, of course, filling the 2 guard. But I think you can figure that out. You have enough guys that can fill into that spot, whether that be, Austin Reaves, whether that be, of course, Austin Reaves will probably play that for now, whether it be, Dalton Knecht, all these different guys. The center position is lackluster right now. And that's why I think Nick Claxton is a perfect fit. Now, Robert Williams, we had videos on in the past as well. He is much more injury prone, and he does similar things at a lesser level, even though in his prime with the Celtics, he was one of the best defensive centers in the NBA. Not the best. I'm sure some Celtics fans would argue the best, but one of the best centers in the NBA, right? Defensively. So now with Claxton, you're getting some of that, and I assume his value is a little bit diminished here. He's going to be a UFA here soon, or restricted free agent here soon. Sorry. And as you look at the depth chart right now, they have Austin Reaves, Dalton Knecht, Rui Hachimura, LeBron, and Jackson Hayes. Now, You also have Trey Jemison III, who we made a video on. He's your backup center right now. I mean, you have Jared Vanderbilt playing the pseudo 4. You have Dorian Finney-Smith playing the 5. I mean, it's wild. You also have Markieff Morris is hurt right now. Maxi Kleber, he's not even on here because he's also going to be out for the foreseeable future. I mean, you need to get a center. So now the actual lineup as of right now would be Luka Doncic, Austin Reaves, probably Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, and let's say you go out and get Nick Claxton. You now have the defense from Nick Claxton, and your front court defense is great. Nick Claxton and Dorian Finney-Smith, right? And then you now have Luka Doncic and LeBron James manning the offense, and then assuming you keep Austin Reaves and he factors into the lineup, you are now putting on a very, very good team, like one of the best teams in basketball, at least one of the best starting 5s in basketball. And then off the bench, you'd have, in this scenario, Dalton, Knecht, Shake Milton. They still need some more guys. But if they get, your backup center would now just be, Jackson Hayes then, assuming you get an actual center and you move him down, which still isn't quite good enough for what this team needs, which is why you need multiple pieces here. Now, we've talked about Walker Kessler. We've talked about Miles Turner. If either of those two are available, you go out and get them. Now, there's also the conversation of Jonas Valanciunas. He is reportedly, they want a first-round pick for him in Washington. I don't think you get that done because your defense would be terrible. Maybe as a backup center, you could find a spot for Jonas Valanciunas to thrive and to really fit in. But I don't even think that's a case scenario where, the Lakers would really love to do that because, again, you need defense, specifically as your starting 5. You'd probably, if you get Jonas as your backup, maybe you can make some things work with certain lineups. But let's not forget, they've made an already bad defensive team a lot worse defensively by getting rid of the best defensive center in basketball. And that's something that I know a lot of Lakers fans already know, but it's going to get very interesting. And when you're talking about this trade a little bit more here, an anonymous NBA executive was asked if Luka Doncic was available and how much he'd be willing to offer in a potential trade. His response, everything. Wow. It's very true. We know the Lakers came out and asked one other team regarding a trade for Luka. Maybe it was the Bucks surrounding Giannis Antetokounmpo, but they didn't do a fire sale. We've obviously had a ton of videos on it. And the Lakers did a great job getting Luka. Now it's what's next. Now, obviously, you need multiple athletic rim protecting centers. Jonas is not an athletic center, nor is he a rim protector. You think about Day'Ron Sharpe. I could see an offseason or a trade deadline here where they get both Day'Ron Sharpe and Nick Claxton, or Day'Ron Sharpe and Robert Williams, and then run with that. A couple guys who are both going to average 20, 25 minutes a game. You start one of them, and then you get the other one off the bench. That moves Jackson Hayes down to the 3rd string center spot. If you want to play bigger, you have a bench unit where you can play Jackson Hayes at the 5. You play Dorian Finney-Smith, all these different things. So there's a lot of different scenarios with that. But at the end of the day, tons of moves are coming. Big things are happening with the Los Angeles Lakers, and Luka Doncic is nearing a return as well. So a lot of exciting things on the horizon. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. This is the place to be for daily Lakers content. And the Lakers are pursuing multiple centers, and we're going to keep you up to date with all the latest news. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Content's going to continue to be pumped out for you guys. Multiple 5, 10 videos a day. It's the place to be. Thank you guys for watching. Cheers.